Scorpio, welcome to your weekly Sidereal forecast for August 7th through the 13th. My name is Athen. So a very exciting week. We have the solar eclipse happening on Sunday. And so as the week unfolds, we'll be feeling that energy probably dying down, but you guys are in quite an active time, or at least your energy levels could be quite high. I do recommend watching these for your ascendant, by the way. But yeah, Mars is at the top of the chart, Sun's at the top of the chart where they love to be, and it's all involving this career, legacy, or public stuff that has all this activity in it. You got Venus, who recently went direct, so maybe even now this week applying, these enjoyments at work or career, maybe relationships starting to move forward in that particular area, connecting to people there. You're very motivated, I think, to get things done on the career level. Lots of expansion, lots of opportunities there. And now the solar eclipse will be creating new beginnings, subtly so, over the next few weeks and coming months. That will be culminating in the next 6 months when we have the next set of eclipses at the beginning of 2016. So this is a very important eclipse because it is involving the North Node, which is about your life path, future growth, future direction, which has been relating to groups, community, ideals, satisfaction from work. But now this is the first set of eclipses which are heralding the next couple of years of new beginnings involving that 10th house for you, much more tangibly the career or legacy stuff. So you'll see this over the next coming years, but this is the first one, and they'll be in succession, and that's where the North Node is going to transit into in the next, I think at the tail end of this year. So yeah, major new beginnings. It's all about life path, making choices that are in alignment for legacy, for giving, for doing something, creating something that is of benefit to everyone, to mankind. That's what the 10th house really signifies, is what we're here to build in this life, our contribution. So anyways, lots of activity there. The energies are low, so kind of experiment with it, try new and different things, and you'll find that a great way of working with it. So with that being said, let's go look at this week leading into this eclipse. We've got Mars trining up to Uranus. This is fantastic. It's your ruler. So there's quite the excitement, I think, or at least motivation you guys can have, like I said, especially with those 10th house things. And this can mean tangibly new beginnings or opportunities for some of you, depending on your personal chart. But it's really breaking away from the routine, the humdrum of the daily activities, and doing something fresh, something different. Maybe something you've been thinking about doing, your intuition's been sort of signaling you to do, involving the 10th house. And it's a great week for that. Now, with that being said, Mercury does square up to Pluto. So there is a cautionary energy, and that's going to any extremes with your ideals this week. Mercury in the 11th house, I think you guys have been thinking about your visions, your ideals, satisfaction from work, maybe income from work. But it's important not to get too caught up into it. Try not to obsess about those things too much, which is sometimes the case with a square up to Pluto. And yeah, face things for for how they are, but don't try to force your own point of view. It's important to allow the ego to take a back seat, have non-control of the situation, and then through that, not non-control in terms of your own ego drives, and then through that you create space. You have that awareness of the mind, of the ego, and that does create the constructive power to make change, and then through that non-attachment, making change towards anything involving these ideals and visions is a good week for it, as long as it is coming from that right place, that present moment awareness, that compassion, and what really is a benefit for everyone involved, which is the best way to work with Pluto, the only way to really work with Pluto without it being destructive or frustrating or sort of irritable. So that's our minds. It's not too significant for you. This is more significant for those that are ruled by Mercury. But it's an important consideration to be aware of these actions and things relating to the 11th house there. So that's going to be the work week, but I think the highlight will be Mars trining up to Uranus because it is your ruler. And of course, that consideration in the background. And then during the weekend, as we approach that solar eclipse on Sunday, we do have some important aspects. Mercury is going to be sextiling up to Venus. So generally, this is quite the leisurely sort of energy. It can be a good weekend for relaxing. But for you, with all this activity in your 10th house, maybe it is maybe it is relaxing, but at the same time busy. I don't know. So it can be quite enjoyable in either case. One-on-one connections could be quite nice since Venus does naturally rule your 7th house, but maybe even getting that alone time since Venus rules the 12th. But that's a sextile opportunity. The Sun does oppose up to Chiron, and Jupiter does oppose up to Neptune going into next week. So like a lot of you have been hearing me talk about in the previous weeklies, for you there's this importance of balancing the career or public stuff or legacy stuff with the home and family stuff. Neptune in the 4th house has been about you connecting on a spiritual level to your home, your family, your past, your roots, not having to have everything figured out there either, and realizing that it's so important for you to have that faith and trust in that area, and through that, it's very relaxing, and that relaxing energy is supporting a lot of these career advancements or things you're doing here in the public or legacy level. And again, it's not just career for income, it's anything you're here that you're contributing in life. For for each of us, it's all very different. But through that faith and trust, and realizing too that there really is no difference between the career stuff and the home and family stuff, is what melds this energy together and helps us relax, because they're really just the foundational aspects of life. When things are good in the personal level, things are good in the career level. And getting that alone time with family and, at home and things like that will help balance it out, and vice versa. So all that can be very healing over the weekend when you're doing that as well with Chiron. And watch any extremes or any ideals about home and family matters this weekend, since Jupiter will be opposing up to Neptune. Stay grounded. See things and people, especially family, if that's the case for you, for how they are. And stay grounded in that, because with whatever visions we do have, it's very good because Neptune is showing us those visions and Jupiter is showing us those possibilities. But it's so important for us to stay grounded with it and apply it. And for you, it's mostly applying on that 10th house level while allowing everything to be the way that it is in the 4th. And it depends on your personal chart. Some of you might have very constructive energies of the 4th. And Saturn, of course, rules your 4th. He's very close to a lot of your guys' ascendants. But generally speaking, faith and trust can really go a long way, and you can relax into that, and that's going to help balance out a lot of this 10th house activity, which is, like I said, shaping up for you over the next 6 months involving the solar eclipse in the 10th. So Scorpio, have a good week. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you'd like a personal reading, please get in touch. Of course, if you're new to Sidereal Astrology, this is very different from Western tropical astrology, so do check the description down below. Have a good one. See you all next time.